Thank you so much for coming. My name is Jenny Coates. I'm on the marketing communications team here, supporting all of our states. And if you probably saw on the calendar invite, we're having a workshop this week on foster parent recruitment and retention. And we are in the middle of an amazing multi-year strategy of generating way more foster parenting leads than we have in the past, and helping way more people become licensed foster parents and help children and teenagers in need. So we're really excited some of the early results. The approach that we use, that we've really bought into, is called inbound marketing, and it's about being found through content, being found when people are looking online or when they're on social media. And so for this session today, we wanted to partner with someone, an external guest speaker, who has lived this and has walked this path. So we are so excited to have Bella Vasta with us. She came here from Phoenix, flew in yesterday, and she's going to tell you more about her background, but she is a pro at content marketing and not only building her own business, but also helping all other businesses grow and inspire crowds of people. So you're going to see why she has a personal connection to what we do here at KVC, and she's got some really great insights. So her presentation today is creating rock star effects with potential parents so we can impact the most kids. And I think we're going to start with this.
Who knows the song, Sweet Caroline? Sweet Caroline, bum, bum, bum. Good times never seem so good. So good. Do you guys know that those words actually weren't in the song? So good, and bum, bum, bum. But we just all kind of think that, right? Right? Do you know that that song was created? And it's okay if I just run. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That song was created 49 years ago.
For my daughter. Who's 11? Just say.
I'll actually tell you. Do you know who it was created for?
Yeah.
It was Caroline Kennedy.
Yes.
Neil Diamond, I looked this up for you guys, because I was like, how did you come up with that? He came up with that song because he saw Caroline Kennedy at 12 years old sitting on top of a horse and was inspired by her and said, you know what? She looks so beautiful. I should write a song. Isn't that kind of weird? But me, right? So how many people, I'm totally going to put us all on blast here, are under 49?
In my mind.
This song, this song was created before any of us were around. It's okay, because if we can't get it, I can sing. Okay? I used to do karaoke, and I'm going to actually tell you that part of it too. It might not be that good, but it will be entertaining. Is that okay?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. All right. So that song has transcended decades, right? All of us know this song. We didn't know that it was about Caroline Kennedy, but it's something about that song that kind of just moves us. And I bet we all have a story. Why do you guys laugh and like, hey, what does that song make you think of? Sports. You know what? My mom said that. I told her I was going to do that song. And you know what she said? We're from Boston. She goes, that's a Fenway Park song. They play it there all the time. I'm like, okay, Mom, but I'm pretty sure it's not just a Fenway Park song, because I'm going to talk to a whole bunch of people, and they're all going to have their own experience with it. Am I right? Usually has to do with a beverage, and a loud, dark place at night, or a sporting event. Come on, you guys. Okay, no problem, because I can click buttons. Who knows this song? Who's that singer? Everybody. What does Beyonce mean to you guys?
Everything.
Seriously, that woman is like the biggest influencer. She said everything, for those of you who couldn't hear. political activist. And she's a whole bunch of other things, including, does anyone know who Sasha Fierce is? Yeah? Someone tell me who Sasha Fierce is. I know you know. Tell us. Her alt. Oh, I forgot. I got one of these so that everyone can hear. Now I'm going to scare everybody. Okay. It's okay. We're all friends here.
Alter ego.
Alter ego.
Okay. And what is an alter ego? Why does she have it?
It was like her persona that she, like a kick-ass persona that she had.
Right.
Rocking it out.
That was awesome. You guys, she said a kick-ass persona. Is that okay if I say that? That she had. Because she isn't always Sasha Fierce. That's her alter ego. When she gets up on stage and she's going to perform, that's who she is. Because up until recently, that she said in interviews, she hasn't always been that outgoing. But in order to impact change and change lives, she had to fake it till she made it. She had to put on that. She had to figure out that inner Sasha Fierce, right? Well, today, we're all going to find, not our inner Sasha Fierce, because you're all going to have your own, but we're all going to find our own rock star. But not only our own rock star, we're going to find other rock stars out in the world. Rock stars that can be rock stars for those kids. You see where we're going with this? No? You do? Okay, good. This would have been a lot harder, guys, if you didn't. So, the influence that they have is worldwide. Like Neil Diamond is like 49 years, and we know that song. And it makes us feel a certain way. There's so many rock stars, arguably, right? But the ones I wanted to show you today were these people. These all had been touched by foster care, which many of you probably know. Raise your hand. Oh, good. There's a lot of you that don't, or just still are not participating. That's okay. Because by the end of it, you're all going to have fun, I promise. I wanted to put them in here because these are great conversation starters. These are good, commonalities to know, like, and trust people, which we're going to talk about today. But before I get way ahead of myself, which is really easy to do, I want to tell you something. When I got the call to come and speak to you guys a couple months ago, I'm not joking when I say I got goosebumps. Now, big deal. It is a big deal. I come from Arizona, and it's 110 degrees there. And I'm completely moved to pieces to be standing around all of you guys, to be a part of, just a tiny part of the impact that you guys are having. And it means so much to me, because what you guys do, I think is just, I've already teared up at the table sitting around talking. And I teared up on the phone when I talked to some of your recruiters before I even came here, to really, truly understand what you do, Stephanie. But I want to tell you how I got here, because I'm not just some crazy girl who likes to sing and dance in front of you. I started in 2002 when I wanted to go sing Sweet Caroline, a pet sitting company. We walked dogs, we slept in people's beds, and I grew it to a 6-figure company. But I only did it because my parents wanted to give me a curfew, and I didn't want it. Remember the bar, Sweet Caroline, boyfriends, I was in my 20s. That was how it got me out of it. I didn't realize, though, that it would become a 6-figure business. And guess what? I had 350 blogs, and that was probably why it was so successful. Part of HubSpot, one of my mentors is Marcus Sheridan, and I learned a lot of that from him, and I was able to grow my first 6-figure business through most of that inbound marketing. I wasn't Google AdWords and all that stuff that you pay for. Everyone came to me, so I understand what it's like to do that. About 6 years into it, I got nationally and locally award-winning. And people started coming to me saying, how can I do what you do? And so I started talking to them. And I didn't stop for the past 12 years. Now, I perfected it a little bit. I wrote more blogs and podcasts and all this other inbound stuff that gets people to know, like, and trust me. But this is my life. I live it. I understand what it's like to connect with people and to get them to know, like, and trust you so that they'll drink what they call the Bella Kool-Aid. I don't really like that term, but that's what they say. While I was doing that, 2 years ago, I started speaking. Because what I really realized is that I love pouring all of me into you in the next hour. Not only that, but it's a huge responsibility. Because I don't know, there's 100 of you? That's $100 that I'm responsible for right now. And I take that it really seriously. So I hope to excite you and entertain you, because I'm not just going to talk at you. But in return, I'm going to ask for some of your experiences, and we might even do a little role play. So I'm just letting you know where the ship's going. Now, during all of that, I dated just about everyone on Match.com in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's sad but true. I was in my 20s, I was building a business, and I had high standards. My husband actually found me because I was looking for people that were over 6'4". This is too personal. He was 6'3". When he found me, we dated. It was love at first sight. 9 months later, we got engaged. And then 6 months later, we got married. He's from Macedonia. Does anyone know where Macedonia is? I had to Google it. It's this tiny country above Greece. And if you tell him he's Greek, he'll chop off your head. But we got married twice in the same week. And then we went to Italy for our honeymoon. And I was ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic. I always wanted to be married. The biggest job I wanted was a wife and a mom. So as God would have it, we conceived on our honeymoon. That was in January of 2014. In July of 2014, I had a daughter. Y'all doing the math? All right. For those who aren't good at math, I'm good at math. That's 6 months. It takes about 9.5 months to cook a baby. And my baby was delivered at 28 weeks. She was 10 inches, 12 ounces, and one of the 50 smallest babies born on the planet. Everyone told us the words, "She's not viable," and it was insane. I mean, I think those pictures speak millions of words, right? We were there all the time, and 8 to 10 hours a day, I would be in NICU. She was so small that my wedding ring fit around her leg. I didn't actually get that picture. I got it when I was coming off because people told me to stop, but I did. And that's my husband's wedding ring. That's how tiny she was. We were in NICU for so long, and here's where it comes back to you guys. We had a pod, and that means there was like 4 babies in the pod. And many of you are probably familiar with this, sadly. I would see babies come and go for all the time. And a lot of babies wouldn't have people to care for them. A lot of babies didn't have people coming to visit them. And a lot of babies would be screaming bloody murder nonstop, to the point that I, being the emotional mom I was already in there, was like, stop, she's gonna wake up my child needs to sleep, to grow, to do all this stuff, right? And it was at that moment in my life that I lost my innocence when it came to not every kid was brought up the way that I brought up. And it broke my heart to see these babies in there, not having anyone to advocate for them, because you bet your bottom dollar I was fighting with those doctors every single day. And as being their advocate, Amy was talking about just even being an advocate for IEP. Imagine your child being weaned off of drugs and not anyone there to help them. So that's why it just gave me goosebumps when I was preparing to come see you guys. So our challenge today, if we can get through all this, I just started really loud, was that too loud? I didn't do it. How can we create a rock star influence with the potential parents to help change lives? We kind of started talking about it. We talked about these awesome statistics, and I'm probably going to go off the rail of myself because, why am I blanking right now? You presented so much amazing information that I actually wrote it down. I want to get those 1304 new leads down to, like what you were saying, to 100. And today I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show it to you through a fun way. Keeping up with this rock star and song theme, you know what we're going to do? We're going to create a #1 hit music song today called Help Change More Lives. Now, before I click the next slide, I need you all, left hand and right hand, help change more lives. You got it, girl. That's her inner Beyonce. Come on, you guys ready? Help change more lives. Again, help change more lives. Last time, help change more lives. All right, good job. All right, so the first one in this whole thing is help. These emails that we're getting, they're life preservers. And I know there's a lot of life preservers getting thrown at y'all, life preservers. I want you to try to drop anything that you're doing immediately and make contact with those people. I'm going to show you some awesome statistics in a little bit from HubSpot about where these people are truly at when they decide I'm going to hit submit on that form, and how you can capture that and not have to send out as many tons of emails. Hey, are you ready now? Although that's amazing, because we all know that some seeds grow and some seeds don't grow, and then they grow at other seasons, right? So your email is your life preserver, and I want you to think of it that way. Not, oh, I got another email from work. And I know it's probably it might be easy to do that sometimes when you just sit down and watch Real Housewives of New Jersey. I don't know, it would be for me, maybe. You're like, I just sat down, I just want to turn off. But I want to implore you, I want to put that in your mind. Your email means, that lead means life preserver. And the quicker we can get to it, see how I did that? I made it stop magically. That's really exciting. All right, so we want you to reach out really quick. Now, this is the part that might be a little challenging. Can I borrow your cell phone? I'm not going to actually turn it on. You all get something that says email or phone, right? You don't say, don't ever video me. I would love to challenge you. This is a challenge. I know I'm going to terrify most of you. You're going to crawl underneath your chair. But I promise you, it's going to make that number go way down. Hi, Bella. I just got your email and I just left you a voice message, but I just wanted to let you know I cannot wait to talk to you. Call me back or whatever the call to action is. You can email a 30-second video. You can text a video. And I know that might sound really, oh my God, heebie-jeebie, but I can't even tell you how impactful that's going to be. You want to get those numbers down? She's saying yes. I got the boss nodding yes. And then you're going to be like, darn that, Bella. I'm telling you, by 2020, like 80% of the content we consume is going to be video. You know that you're moving to tons of video stuff. It doesn't matter if your hair's not done. It doesn't matter if you don't like the way you look on video. Let me give you a quick tip. Women already know this. Just lost 20 pounds. Right? Right? And here's another tip. You can record this stuff once and just save it and just send it to someone. And you don't necessarily have to say their name. What's your name? Lavette. Lavette. I love those ears. Hi, Lavette. It's Bella, and I just got your email contact form. I don't know. You'll have to figure out exactly what to say. And I cannot wait to talk to you. I just left you an email, so feel free to reply back. Or, I just left you a voicemail. This is me. I can't wait to talk to you. They're going to be so floored. You talk about changing the face of what is happening with HubSpot and all of these services around the country. And you want to, once they figure out HubSpot, you want to add a touch point in there? Holy moly. And if you're really worried about it, maybe you could go into the office and you could, make sure you like it and it doesn't have to be completely candid. This is video, y'all, but we can save it to our camera roll and attach it. And these people feel like they're so special. Now they're like, what you mean? Really gonna call Christy back. She really went like that extra step, and I just feel so guilty. I saw her eyes and I saw how excited she was. She looks like a really nice lady. That's the lady I want to come to my house and help explain more of how I can help change more lives. That was a good time for not really being prompted. The other thing is that you can actually see their eyes once you get into the house. You can feel their hearts. And I know that we started talking about emotional stuff earlier and getting the emotions out, but we can't ever get to that point unless we see those needs as lifesavers and then reach out to them in a way that they can't ignore. You're not going to ignore me if I send you a voice or a video. You're just not. You might laugh. You might take a little bit to get back to me because you're like, I don't know what to do with this. Should I video her back? You actually be surprised that people will video her back, more so millennials. They really will. to have it. All right, so the human-to-human connection will win hearts and minds every time. I know that we have to be like abide by all the states and these laws and these 12 classes and these certifications, right? But nowhere in there does it say we don't have to be human. I know having a sales conversation when our commodity is kids, and that's already a little awkward, right? At least it was for me at first until I wrapped my brain around it. But we all understand in this room that we're not doing business to consumer. Hopefully we understand that we're doing human to human. It's my heart I'm dropping at your door, on your sofa, and I'm learning what your heart is, and I'm picking it up, and I'm going to hold on to it. And I'm going to ask you some really tough things, like, will we fall in love for a short amount of time, and then break up? How many people have been broken up with before? I have. Remember? In my 20s? Wow, there's a lot of people that haven't. That's awesome. Those of you who have been broken up with, use that. That is something that you feel, heartbreak. You know what that feels like. You can empathize with it. I know I'm asking you to do this. See, I'm totally going off script because I get so excited. All right, so your why. This is where we're really going to start interacting. Amy, can I pick on you for a second? And I need to get this microphone too, so sorry. Don't let this scare you. Tell us your why.
Well, anybody that has children and they want, like I was telling you, when I approach a situation, I approach it as how I want my child to be treated.
Yes.
And we all want to see a child have a good life, and I see it as my child, and my children does the same way. And when I am recruiting foster parents or calling them, I make that connection, that personal connection, and I try to do just like she was talking about, going the extra mile, providing customer service, and picking up the phone on a Saturday and Sunday and talking to them, because if we're asking them to make a big commitment, we need to give that back to them as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Hear her, I don't need to do that tonight. Hear her heart in that, right? Who else wants to share with us their why? It's okay. I got a whole hour to go, so. Anybody? Thank you.
I can talk really loud.
You can, friend. Go for it.
Because it's the right thing to do.
Why is it the right thing to do?
Because you don't want children to suffer. Every time a child is moved, or every time a child doesn't have placement, they're being told you're not important. So day after day after day after day of that creates more and more traumatizing events.
Yeah.
So it's the right thing to do.
I love that. How many of you guys agree with her? Right? Absolutely. How did you get into this?
My whole family, I'm from Boston.
Ah, what's up? You're wicked cool.
My whole family works in human services.
Uh-huh.
So I think I just picked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in your blood.
Yeah.
It's in your blood and in your heart.
Right.
She's an awesome person to have at KVC.
Thank you.
I'm just saying. I love that. I love that. So, have any of you guys ever heard of Simon Sinek? Start with why. If you haven't, I want you to write it down right now. And I want you to look up the YouTube video. It will change your life. I think it's about 20 minutes or so. And he is one of the best speakers in the world. Probably of time, like one of. And he talks about start with why. And how people do not buy things because of what or how you do them. What you're selling or how you're selling it, like Apple. How many of you guys have an iPhone? You picked an iPhone, it's the most expensive phone out there. I did too. But there's a reason why you didn't pick another phone or brand that does the same thing, because you bought into the why of Apple, the simplicity of it, the sleekness of it, the integrate, I don't know. We all have our different reasons. Why? So if we can really drill down to our own why, and also the people whose lives we're touching, these foster parents' whys, it's going to get you a lot further than, okay, what's your name? Corey. Corey, this is what we got to do. You need to go through 12 classes. And it's going to take 6 months, and we're going to have to go through a home check, And I know you think I'm here to look at your bank account and like do a white glove test too, but I'm really not. Trust me, okay? But I really want you to fill this stuff out for me, okay? Wow, that was sexy. I got really excited about that, you guys. No, I didn't, and I don't think any of us others did too, and I think I want to encourage you. Is it possible? What's your name? I love the eye contact you're giving me. Tammy, is it possible that we encourage people to get to the bottom of their why, and that we aren't so closed off to telling them our why? Do you think if we walked along the Y path, the yellow brick road, if you will, that we could get those numbers down and we could make, what did you call it? I forgot your language, but the conversions or the commitments, you said? You think we can make more commitments? We have the website and all this boring paperwork to do stuff. You're not for the boring paperwork or not a lot of the boring paperwork. Something else I want to ask. What departments are you guys in? Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm looking for it. What department are you in? Communications for hospitals. Why do you do it? Like, why for KVC?
I think these people deserve to know about what they're going through.
Kids deserve to know the stories. Do your friends and family and people in your network know what you do? Do they know how they can get involved? That's amazing. She is part of that 30% that we saw on that chart earlier, that said 30% comes from it. I'm so glad that you've got awesome leadership here that bring in the rest of the crew, and this isn't just only for recruiters, because every single one of you has a following, because I know you're on Facebook or Instagram, or maybe Twitter, and every single one of you has an ecosystem of people that you all are also rock stars. It's not just the recruiters. It's every single person that has chosen to work for KVC instead of CBS. It really is. So guys, one more time.
Change more lives.
Let's do it one more time. Ready?
Help change more lives.
Yes! All right. So the statistics, Jenny already kind of shared a lot of them, but I don't want you guys to prohibit yourself from sharing. Okay? Maybe make it a personal goal once a week. Jenny had an ask. How can we get websites up? The recruiters, I'm sure you guys are all doing it, right? You're already like rock stars in the recruiting part. But I want all of us to think like rock stars and recruiters. Is it possible? Yes or no? 2 hands, no, 1 hand, yes. I don't know how you want to do this. Is it possible for you to say, I'm going to share one thing from my company every week? Just to help get the word out there? Just to like check in on their page? To physically have to go, maybe Manic Mondays, hey, there's this awesome share it. You never know who's going to see something and share it and share it and share it. And we've got all these networks possible right here. And it's not just up to the recruiters. Let's help facilitate that inbound marketing. Am I okay? Okay. All right, so anyone? I heard this song and I was listening to it over and over and over again on the way to the airport, tearing up, because I was just like, this is these people. They're changing the world. And it's so inspiring. But have you ever been in the car and just start like really just singing, like the windows down, screaming on the top of your lungs? I bought a Mini Cooper convertible to do just that. I did. And I didn't realize why I was kind of sad after I sold it. It was because of all this like excitement that I was doing, and I had my go-to. I mean, when I had my breakups, it was Rest of Flats. Oh, right? I don't know, listen to Rest of Flats during a breakup. Oh, I think that's called masochistic. I love Coldplay, Maroon 5. I bought a ticket to their concert like as soon as it came out. I think it was like 9 months in advance. And I bought 2 tickets. I didn't know who I was bringing, but I did it because I was so bought into it. By the time you're singing and dancing in the car, that's the stage where you're having a heart change. All right? I would argue that, love that, when you get into people's homes, that's when their heart is starting to change. Their mind is open to the possibilities of what can it look like to be a foster parent. And it's also really important to know what to say and when to save. Because we don't want to just like throw up on them and tell them, have you ever been to a car dealership and they're just like, here's all the features and benefits and this is going to be okay, you want to buy it? Like, no! That was just like overwhelming, like you just throw up on me. So at every stage of the process, whether it's that little video, right? It's not like, hey, what's up, I'm a recruiter and you should be a foster parent and come to the home immediately. I know you guys wouldn't do it, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but sometimes, myself included, I get a little long-winded. I get excited. And you want to know what to say and when to save. So you want to save all of the paperwork stuff. But kind of like after their hearts changed, like, okay, now this is what we got to do. Sure, you can allude to it and you can talk about it. And in your packets, I was reading through it. There's some awesome scripts on the phone and such. But I want to encourage you to know how far to go and how far to pull back. It's kind of like the first date, y'all. I didn't keep saying that. I like that. At the first date, I'm not going to tell you my whole entire life story, my psychological problems, maybe, how many kids I have or cats I have. I'm going to save that stuff. I don't want to scare you off, right? So I want you to really be conscious of what exactly you're saying throughout all those touch points that you guys are going to be diving deeper into, it sounds like, this weekend, okay? Or week, right? Starting the week. Here we go. Good job. What's your name? Jan. Good job, Jan. Okay, now everyone's going to do as awesome as she did. Help change more lives. Yes. That's what we're here for today. So, phone calls take away 93% of the communication. I'm sure many of you have heard that before, right? You can't see me jumping around. You can't see my eyes. Is she going to stop staring at me? Marcus Sheridan taught me that. Isn't that kind of like crazy? And it keeps everybody on their toes because it's like, you can't do that on the phone, y'all. I just said that again. Maybe that's a little too much. Think so? So it's also really become cautiously optimistic. Remember I told you I was going to share a little bit of stats here for you? So when they're filling out that form, when they're like, looking everywhere on the website, downloading stuff, looking at pages, I want you to embrace that stopper status that you all now have being part of HubSpot. You have such rich data that's going to tell you this is their concern, this is what they were looking at on the website, this is what they downloaded. I want you to use that data. And when you do call them and you get in their home, your chances of closing that deal, getting a second date of 12, if you will, just increased to 60%. Because they moved from I'm kind of looking to I'm a serious buyer now. Which is why that life preserver is so important. And it's so important to do it quickly when they're in that emotional state. Maybe they just watched a video. Or maybe they just read one of your emails that you just put out and said, yep, you know what? Right then and there, they're ready. They're not ready at 8 o'clock Friday night when they're watching Housewives. It's going to be a little bit easier to get them off the bat. You want to strike when the iron's hot. Yeah. So I jumped ahead, of course, and I told you to use your cell phone and use the video. That is going to be so impactful, and I cannot even begin to say. And I don't want you to be limited by when they say email or phone. Because that phone, that video can be used via email or via that text message on the phone. Because we all know we don't check voicemails, right? One of the biggest things when I talk to recruiters, they said, I have to call and call and call and call. Well, the video, I promise you, and you can reach out to me and be like, oh my God, that worked. Let me know. I promise you that's going to change more lives. Now, the more part of this whole thing, help change more lives. Want to do it again? Help change more lives. Good job. Okay. So we got this #1 hit song. We want more. Right now we're really in our Sasha Fierce Beyonce thing. We are rocking it on the stage. We want more tickets. We want bigger stadiums. We want more. How are we going to do that? That's really when you start getting them to talk, and it's not about you, it's all about them. You want to get them to know, like, and trust you. So remember at the very beginning, I showed you that slide of those 4 that were already affected by, or not, like they were part of foster care. John Lennon and Ice-T, who I love just because I like to watch SVU. And you know, they're really good. They're really good touch points. The other thing about this is, have you ever been in a home where there have been other kids or a pet? No? Nobody? Yeah? Okay, good. So what if we brought like a couple of coloring sheets for the kids, or stickers, or treats for the dog maybe, or a little ball that a dog or a kid can play with. I don't know. You know, dollar store stuff. It doesn't matter if the kids actually play with it and leave mom and dad alone, or mom and mom, or whoever it is in the household. It's the fact that you took the time to think ahead, anticipate their needs, and you're just dropping this little thing that you got at the dollar store. And even if the kid doesn't even play with it, you just became that much more likable. Because you're like, oh, you get what it's like to be a parent. We got that all the time in the pet sitting world. People used to be like, I'm sorry my house is a mess, when it really wasn't. Or, I'm sorry my dog's jumping all over you, or whatever it might be. People instantly want to be put at ease. So the best way we could do that is anticipating their needs or through a story. So something I used to do, like golden retriever. It's okay if I compare this to like pets, but oh, my golden retriever likes to dig and is always getting mad at it. Or, oh yeah, we have another client that has a golden retriever, does the same exact thing. I just love how goldens do that all the time. A way to empathize and connect with them is going to go a long, long way. And again, it's just about that connection, because if they know you and they like you and they feel like they can trust you, they will sign up. They will go through that paperwork. They will go through all those extra steps. You know, you told me this on the phone. And they will follow you to the ends of the earth, right, Amy? Tell me.
They'll text me and just have that personal connection with them, you know, and share sort of the same ideas. It's not like you always want to sell them something. You know, and I have like these sidebar conversations so that, you know, they didn't know you make a connection, a personal connection with them, whether like as a salesman or something like you or something like that. It's not like you're selling a car, you're selling, you know, you're trying to provide a home for a child.
Yeah, yeah. Asking them a lot of questions. Things like, well, the more questions you ask, the more you listen, and the more will change, essentially. So you can almost pretend you are the 4-year-old that's like, why? But why? But why? Not obviously using those only words, but, well, why do you feel that? How does that make you feel? What made you want this? I know you guys ask this one all the time. I'm curious. How do people come to wanting to be a foster parent for the first time? What are the typical responses? Growth in family? Anything else?
Just had one. I was a foster child. My foster parents had the biggest influence on me. Pops I just talked to Pops the other day.
Oh.
And she's Mr. Pops.
Oh, that's so fantastic. Good job, Dr. Phil. That's what your big job says. She said that the other family members or she was in foster care and she was just moved by it and wanted to continue the awesomeness of that cycle, which is fantastic. What other reasons do people come to you guys wanting to be a foster parent?
They want to help.
They want to help. Good. Why do they want to help? What are the reasons they give you?
Well, a lot of people, it's just like they have like a calling, or they just feel something like it's been on their minds for a long time.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people know somebody that knows somebody.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And there's 9,520 kids as of July 5th in foster care, and we send those numbers out. When I started, I moved to Kentucky back in 2006, and we were pulling our hair out. We had 6,000 kids in foster care, and we have 9,520 statewide. We're the smallest foster care agency for KVC, and we have the biggest in Kentucky. I read all you guys' stats, and we're going to be 10,000 in October. And so, with the help of Brian, we're sending that message out.
Right.
And people are like, how can I help?
Yeah. That's incredible. 9,528.
Went up 2.
I think that's amazing that you know that number. Did any of you guys did you guys have that committed to memory? Yeah? You guys, like, I could seriously cry here. I'm not going to, because that's not what I'm here for. So, these people, when you meet them, when you're trying to help change more lives, they're scared. And I heard that a lot on the phone when I called and talked to you guys. They're scared for two reasons. One, they're going to get a kid that they can't take care of because the kid has physical or emotional or mental needs that they can't support. And then they're also afraid of their own heartache, which is something where I think we can help prepare for a little bit. We can help show that we know what heartache feels like, but the cost, the reward outweighs the cost, right? Have you ever been in a position where you've had to have these conversations? On a scale of 1 to 10, and write it down. Where do you think you are confidence-wise on having those conversations and getting people past that objection? Go ahead and write it down. On a scale of 1 to 10. Were there any 8s? Yes. Tell me what you do. I want you to tell everybody. I'm going to give you the microphone, and I know you're going to be scared, but I'm going to sit by you, and we're going to do this and talk. Because you're an 8, girl. You have a gift of doing this.
Today is my first day at KVC.
It's for real?
As a foster care specialist. Yeah, I think that.
Okay, she doesn't count.
I love your confidence though.
Now you all know a trick. Is anyone else going to speak up to help? Because I think we could actually. This is.
He's got like.
Yeah. I talked to you on the phone. I know you got this going on. The question is, why are you an 8? How are you able to get past this scaredness and get them excited about about being foster parent?
Well, I let them know that they're not alone, that this is a universal fear for people who are wanting to become a foster parent, and then just letting them know that I understand that this is a big ask, and I know that it will hurt your feelings sometimes to have to send a child back to their biological parents. But how would you feel if you could never see your bio parents ever again? What would that feel like to you? And just being able to, it's horrible, but it's like, you're gonna have to hurt to help these kids because they're in pain, and it is your job to heal these kids. So it's more than just a bed. You're not just providing a home. You're providing the opportunity to help change lives and to help make these kids, transition from children to teenagers to adults, and helping them become, citizens and really contributing back to the community and not continuing the cycle. Because many of our children who are foster kids, their parents were foster kids, and the same thing for their parents. So we have to break the cycle.
Yeah. Oh gosh. You guys hanging around on the bus for us? It was so amazing talking to you both on the phone. I don't think that other gals here, but blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. And I can only imagine every single one of you has a story like that too. We can't be ostriches with our head in the sand. We have to have those tough conversations with them. Not in a qualifying way, like, you understand it's going to be tough, right? In a qualifying way of, listen, I know what it's like because of whatever stories you might have. The reason, the why that you're doing this. The 9,528?
9,128 statewide.
Now bad numbers. You impacted me just then. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Just kind of keep coming back here. The other thing I want you to be aware of is who's your Robin. So sometimes there's people in the house that one called, but the other didn't. Anyone have a partner at home? Husband and wife? Where one of you is like, let's go! And the other's like, no! Yeah, I think that's really important to kind of decipher. I know that when you guys say, like, when you go to the home or when you're speaking to these people, you're trying to figure out, like, okay, we need all of you there. But I think it's really important for you to pay attention to who you really need to sell, or whose objections really matter, who the decision maker is, and who the supporter is. Because it might not always be the person that contacted you. Who's going to be the Robin to your Batman? Who's going to be your advocate to help pull that third person along? And who do we need to focus our energies on? They both are going to have different objections. I don't have to tell you that, right? You can probably give me a whole laundry list right now. But I think it's really important to decipher all of that. The other thing I want to do, and I need 2 volunteers, and you can volunteer or I can pick you. Good job. Come on up. What's your name?
Tracy.
Tracy. Who's going to go with Tracy? Thank you. Ellen DeGeneres. Nice to meet you. I've always wanted to see your show. Okay, so I want you, Tracy, to tell, I just totally blanked out.
Ellen.
Okay, we'll go with Ellen. Okay, I want you, here, stand in front of the podium. And I'm going to have you tell her the story in about 60 seconds of how you got here. But before you do that, okay? All right, your turn.
That's KVC.
Yeah, or how you got here today. Was it a car, a truck, a plane?
Today I walked out of my complex and walked out through the parking lot, got in my car, and I drove on 35 North and got here. And then when I got here, I parked, and I opened up my door, got myself
Okay. How did you feel?
I didn't feel great.
You were amazing. Thank you. You didn't feel great. Why?
Because she was ignoring me.
Yeah, right?
I felt like I was talking to a wall.
Right?
I was just rude, but that's what she does.
I think they probably gathered. I think everyone probably gathered that. But yeah, I did. I told her just to ignore you, not to. Okay, freeze. Do not move right now. I want you all to look at exactly what they're doing. They're both leaning with their weight on their hip, and they're both mirroring each other right now. You can sit down. Thank you so much, guys. My point in that little experiment there, now here's where the obviousness comes, hopefully, is that when we are in front of people, whether it's in their home or whether it's at a barbecue, and we work for KVC, and we really want to get these people on our side. We want to tell them about, hey, this is a kid who we just helped, and this is the story. And they're like, oh my gosh, and they're asking you questions. You either A, know that you've got someone so involved with you, if they're mirroring what you're doing, by positioning, by hands, by shifting weight, or you can get them to do what you do by mirroring them. And when you do that, that nonverbal, that subconscious, instantly helps make you more likable, more trustable. Trustable? Is that what it is today? You see what I'm saying? So mirror each other. Mirroring is something I think a lot of us kind of subconsciously know, but never really think of. And this is really important again, not just for all the rock stars at the circle tables, but all you rock stars out on the regular chairs. You could do this with your spouse. Get what you want. You can do it when you're negotiating. You can do it anywhere in life. This works everywhere, not just for foster kids. It works. Try it next time. Next time you're trying to persuade someone, try mirroring what they're doing, or check out oh, we're both leaning the same way right now. Okay? Pay attention to it. It really works. So the whole more, continuing on, and I've got 5 minutes left. Is that right? I think I'm starting a little late. Oh, thanks, guys. All right, excitement, love, belonging, safety. Anyone remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs from yeah? Oh, you probably have all been trained on this a lot. That was the first thing that came to my mind. We all need to be safe and loved. So I'm going to skip right through that then. If you're like, yeah, whatever. Anticipate needs. I kind of talked about that a little. Remember I told you I might get a little off track because I get excited? It's called ad-libbing. When you're a rock star, you might mess up, but you just keep going. No one will know until the slide comes up to remind you. anyways, anticipate needs. That's when we were talking about, maybe bringing a ball or a coloring page and some crayons or snacks. Yeah, something just so that they feel like, oh my gosh, they're not here to do a white glove test and point their nose down at me and judge me, right? That we're just here to be like, hey, no problem. There's a lot that goes into coming into people's homes. On an off chance, is James Robertson here? Robertson? Do you guys work with him? You should take a picture of this slide and tell him that I mentioned him. Because I looked up on your awesome website, or actually I Googled. I was Googling, and I found this. And I just thought it was so amazing. As communities, it's our responsibility to protect children. I think we all agree with this, right? Every one of us agrees with this. From abuse, neglect, mistreatment, and harm, all children deserve to thrive in an environment that promotes healthy brain development, cultivates emotional, cognitive, and behavioral abilities, and builds resilience. This is why we want to help change our lives. I need the hand job. This is like Jersey fish pumping, KVC style. One more time. Help change more lives. Yeah, that's what you guys are going to call it. The KVC Jersey pump. I just came up with that, totally. All right, so as we were talking about, I didn't realize this afterwards. I'm just going to kind of give you my own insecurity. I grabbed a picture from Deposit Photos, but realized it wasn't really that diverse. So, if any of you noticed that, I noticed that too, but a little too late to change it. So, anyways, I think it's amazing, and I know that you all think it's amazing. That's why you're here. But to obviously change the kids' lives. But what I don't think we talk enough about is how many parents and siblings and neighbors' lives we're going to change just by that one child being in that environment that's outside playing at 4 o'clock when all the moms are happy hour in the street. I do that with my kids. And you have this story to share. It's not just the kids' lives that are going to get changed. It's the whole community. We focus on the kids. And my jaw dropped, and I asked her, did she really say that when I think it was Carrie was saying about kids sleeping in offices? I only see that in the movie theater or on TV. I don't live in her world. I truly didn't think that ever actually happened. So keep sharing that stuff on Mondays or something to get it out. Do you really know that this doesn't just happen in the movies? This is real life. Not only are there 9,528 kids that need a home or a foster care home, but there are also X amount that just slept in an office last night. Ouch. That kills my heart. So you guys, there's this thing called kangaroo care. And as my daughter was only 10 inches, we stuck her feet right here in the bottom of my bra. And her head was right here. That's how big, okay? I had to wait 3 weeks to hold her because she was so fragile. What I'm doing there, that's the day that I first held her. Can't even tell you, like, it was the most amazing thing. Most people get to, like, hold their baby right away. I did it. And that's like the drunk love picture of me. And she is 3 weeks old, and she's doing this thing called kangaroo. And I don't know, have any of you guys ever heard of kangaroo care? It's the thing that they do this in, I saw a little head and nose. They do it in like Africa, and a lot of other places where they don't have a lot of advanced equipment. And it literally has been proven to regulate their body temperature, their heart rate, help decrease infection. Because the mom is able to like get them on her rhythm. And I can't even tell you, it is better than any high you can ever have to have that feeling. And that's what I used to do for 8 to 10 hours a day for 6 months. We were in the hospital for 6 months. I didn't come home until January. We got in the hospital in July, got home January. And this is kangaroo care. She's now 4 years old. And there is one more video. When I was in the hospital, the whole point about being a rock star, sometimes songs get stuck in your head, right? And it's funny because Jenny said this one was stuck in her head as she was singing around the office. But there was a car commercial when I was in the hospital and it was Safe and Sound. That's not the right one. Oops. Now I got a little ahead of myself. right? That's my like anthem for my daughter, because even when I didn't believe it, even when you don't believe that maybe everyone's gonna say yes to you, you gotta believe at the end of the day that everyone's gonna be safe and sound. That's why you do this, right? They're gonna be safe and sound. If I had a quiver, I'd have to stay close. You saw the next slide. You are the kangaroo. You guys are all the emotional kangaroos. Recruiters and everyone that works here. All of you have the chance, either like physically to usher these kids to pick them up from one house and God forbid bring them to another house, or to be telling your family or your friends at the next barbecue. You all have an ability to be an emotional kangaroo for these kids. You all can do kangaroo care. I implore you and encourage you to think of it that way, because it truly can save lives. And I definitely don't tell you that. You've been telling me that all the time. And I just really want to give you a Grammy. Because we now have number one hit music. What is it called?
Help change more lives.
Can't hear you.
Help change more lives.
One more time.
Help change more lives.
Guys, yes, that's what it's all about. And I am committed to, it doesn't just end here. Like, if there's anything I can talk to you about or pour into you, reach out to me on social media, because I love what you guys are doing, and I want to be able to support you, because I wouldn't just tell anybody this, but you guys have moved me to tears more times than I can count, preparing to talk to you all. And I just want to say thanks for doing everything that you're doing, whether it's recruiting or support in office or hospitals or marketing or engineering, for crying out loud. Everything you guys are doing to build KVC right now, you'll never see the tidal wave that you make just letting one kid know temporarily a different way of life. Thank you so much for having me.